Jennifer Holland joins us on WRCO's Morning Show. She is an author and has a new book out as well. We're going to talk about life-changing lessons in canine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me on today.
Oh, it's a pleasure. So tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would.
Yeah, sure. So I'm an animal lover from way back, and also a lover of writing. And I was able to kind of bring those two things together in my career, and spent a long time writing for National Geographic magazine. I have a series of books called Unlikely Friendships that were a lot of fun to work on, and people really loved. And the new book is Dog Smart, and I'm really excited about this book. I think it's got a lot of really interesting. Also, it's very accessible and I think a fun read, and I'm hoping people really love it.
So it's kind of a different process for you if you're writing for a magazine as opposed to writing a full-length book, I'm sure, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, very much so. The magazine, you have obviously a more limited time frame and a lot less to yammer on about the things that you want to say. So in the book, 300 pages later, I still had lots of things I would have loved to have added, but and spent 3 years working on the book. So it's really pulled together a lot of good stuff.
I presume you love all animals, but dogs, are they your favorite?
They are up there. I hate to pick a favorite, but certainly right now with all the research and reporting I did on them, and time spent with all kinds of working dogs and just the miraculous things really that they're capable of doing, I do have a special place in my heart for them right now, for sure.
So Dog Smart. Can you tell us a little bit about the book?
Yeah. So the idea of the book is to consider what it means to be intelligent for a dog. So, we tend to think of intelligence as in a dog as, the dog that responds to our commands the most easily, or that learns tricks of intelligence. There's no question. But there's so much about dogs that is intelligent in their own world, in their own right. And so I really thought about things like olfactory intelligence. Let's think about their senses and how they work and how they allow them to think and make decisions and thrive. Broadly adaptive intelligence, the fact that dogs live everywhere that we live, that they have adapted to our niche and became this very, very special animal to us, and in a way, sort of took advantage of of us in a sense, and held a very special role in our lives. And they're emotionally intelligent. Their communication system is quite robust and intelligent. And so I really dove into a lot of different aspects of intelligence and met with working dogs and their owners and trainers, and learned a lot about how they learn, how they're trained, and what they're capable of in a broad way.
Did that include military animals?
It did, yes. I did get to spend some time at Lackland Air Force Base and see the dogs in training, and even spent time also with police dogs, including getting to experience what it's like to be the bad guy, other side of a bite dog, a dog that's trained to take somebody down who's breaking the law and running. So I like to throw myself into things as much as I can, and so that was really an amazing experience.
That is an amazing thing, because dogs, canine units, are real effective, and certainly they've made their way out. To our area, even here in rural Wisconsin, and a very effective tool for law enforcement, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things that's so amazing about them is that they're able to flip that switch and know when they're on duty and when, a bite is appropriate, and then they go home to their families. Most loving dogs, there's, never a concern that the dog is going to get confused and, bite someone in the family. They absolutely are able to be these two different animals.
So all dogs have some intelligence. If a dog does not learn tricks, is that because I'm a poor owner and can't teach him, or owner and can't teach him, or?
That is what they say. They say there's no dumb dogs. There's just bad trainers, bad owners. I think every dog has their their skill set, and some are certainly more committed to learning tasks. And for example, border collies. Everyone thinks of them as being learn many words for things. They're so committed. They want to work, and they want to do things right, and they want to please us. And there are some breeds and some dogs that just are a little less interested in that, but that doesn't mean that they don't have amazing skills in other areas if given the opportunity.
What about comfort?
If given the opportunity.
What about comfort animals?
Yeah, they're really special. I include them in the kind of emotional intelligence section of the book, and really thinking about some dogs really just do have an amazing ability to read us and to know what to do, and comfort dogs, they do get training to do the things that they do to comfort people, but there's also something innate there that I think anyone who's worked with them will tell you, that they just have a certain sense of, what somebody's emotions are and how to respond to them. And that's why they're so effective in so many situations, whether visiting people in a hospital or working with kids who are, stuck in the court system and are going through something very stressful, to, emergency situations where, there's been a disaster and people just need comfort to get through it. So they're particularly special.
Can you let us in on any stories that you perhaps experienced firsthand while you're researching the book, Jennifer?
Yeah, one thing that I did that was really, really neat was to spend time with at the Seeing Eye in New Jersey, which is one of the premier training centers for seeing eye dogs, for guide dogs for the blind, and I again got to watch dogs being trained and see them at different levels of training, and I also got to actually hold a harness and be led by a dog with my eyes closed in New York City. I knew it would be kind of a neat thing. I thought, oh, this will be fun. This would be kind of a cool experience. But I was just amazed at how fast the dog moved, at how confident the dog was, and how easily we maneuvered down the street. I didn't bump into anything. There was no tripping. I didn't bang into pedestrians. No tripping. I didn't bang into pedestrians. It was, clearly the dog knew exactly what to do and how to do it, and was very aware of things that might get in my way that wouldn't necessarily get in the dog's way. They have to think in terms of what's going to affect you, their person. And so that was kind of a neat thing.
Yes, you had some apprehension, some fear at first in that situation, didn't you?
A little bit. It's hard to give up your main sense, and certainly we use our eyes as humans. Most of us use our eyes as our primary way of experiencing the world. And so to hand that off and to put your faith in this animal is a little bit difficult. But once you do, you realize, again, just how amazing they are at knowing what to do.
How many books have you written, Jennifer?
This is the fifth book. The first four were all part of the Unlikely Friendships series. Unlikely Friendships, Unlikely Loves, Unlikely Heroes, and then a book that was the dogs edition of Unlikely Friendships, just kind of pulling together the dog stories. And so this is the first book that's kind of a more, it's a little more heavy duty. It's got a lot of content, a lot of content, a lot of science, a lot of stories. It's really a mix of all the things that I love, and I'm just really excited about it being out there.
Man's best friend. That's been the case for going back probably to the caveman era, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Thousands of years they've been filling that.
You wanted to add about dogs or your experience when you're putting the book together, Jennifer?
I think just another aspect of the book is sort of suggesting ways that we can be better owners and appreciate dogs for their dogness, so to speak, and different things that we can do as their owners to let them be, as dog-like as possible, letting them sniff, letting them roll, letting them kind of do the things that they naturally want to do, because so much of their life is consumed by doing things for us and living under our rules. And so as much as possible, I sort of feel like they're going to like to be a dog and let them sort of have a little bit of that back.
So give them a little bit of dog moments, and they're not necessarily going to revert back to not being trained and things like that.
Exactly. And they might actually be trained better because they're going to be happier, healthier dogs if they're, not so constrained all the time.
Can you see yourself writing another? Can you see yourself writing another book about dogs?
I'm not sure. I may move on to another animal since I love so many of them, but there is a lot to say about dogs, and I really, the working dogs I met from all different, aspects of our lives were remarkable, and you could run on any one of those. So it could happen.
So do you have plans for the next book yet or not?
Still thinking about it. Yeah, just sort of glowing basking in the glow of having finished this one after 3 years. But I'm sure I will keep writing, and animals are always my favorite subject.
I know you've done a lot of writing based on natural history and whatnot. Have you ever had a visit to Wisconsin before?
Oh, yes. I actually went to UW-Madison.
Well, then you have. I did not realize that.
Much been in Wisconsin. Yeah, I love Wisconsin. Great place. I was there not long ago visiting Madison and some friends. So I'm a fan, definitely a fan.
Sure.
No Badgers.
Right, exactly. What part of the state has been your favorite in your travels then?
I think I have a special love for Madison, I have to say. But, it is really a beautiful state. I think it's underappreciated for its natural beauty, and it's just always a pleasure to go back.
I think sometimes when we live around here, we kind of take things for granted, when you drive by it every day.
For sure. But I don't know if I can handle that cold anymore. I used to not mind it so much, but not so much anymore.
Yeah, it could be a strong winter. You never know. That's for sure. How can people get a hold of your works, Jennifer, if they like to do so?
Yeah, so Dog Smart is, should be available on all the online retailers. Hopefully the bookstores, the regular bookstores also carry it, and you can always ask them to order it. And then I have a website, jenniferhollandwriter.com. You can link from there. And I'm also on Instagram now, Dog Smart Book Author, my handle, and I would love for people to follow. I'm kind of new to Instagram, so check it out, and please follow me for more great pictures and stories.
I'm thinking after we read Dog Smart, we're going to have more of an appreciation for our dog, aren't we?
I think so. And a lot of people have told me that. People who have read it said that it changed, even just in small ways, it changed some things about how they respond to their dog. People said, when I walk my dog, I'm more patient than I used to be. I give them time to sniff around and to really experience things as they naturally would. And that's very rewarding for me to hear.
Well, the holidays are coming up. I think it would make a great gift for a dog lover, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. I agree. Please send copies to everyone you know who loves dogs.
Oh, man. Well, nice to speak with you over the phone here today, Jennifer, and good luck to you in the future.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. That's Jennifer Holland joining us, Dog Intelligence. We're pleased to talk about it on today's morning show.